everyone. Welcome to the Geriatric Momma podcast. I'm Ashley Bailey Farley. You can call me the Geriatric Momma. I'm so excited to be here today, but of course I would not be here without my bestie and producer, Claire. What's up, girl?
Hey, Ashley. I'm so excited for today's episode.
I am too. It's such a great episode. What we're talking about today is pregnancy and how it affects your mind, body, and spirit, especially us, I guess myself as a geriatric mama. There's just so many things that you worry about when you already know that you've delayed your pregnancy, and you just want to make sure that your mind, your body, and your spirit, or for me, the spirit's like your inner being, are all aligned and just in a great shape and in a positive state to get through whatever pregnancy is going to throw at you. Who the hell knows what that's going to end up being.
You don't know.
Right?
That's the thing, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
We can plan all we want, but we'll have no idea.
Yeah. Just for anyone who's maybe joining us for the first time, a geriatric mama is anyone who gets pregnant after the age of 35. There's just a few more risks involved, but it doesn't mean that you can't have a happy, fulfilling, and healthy pregnancy. But I think you got to set yourself up for it too, right? Like you want to make sure you're healthy. So personally, I've been counting calories, or rather, Justin, my husband's been counting the calories, and I've just been consuming those calories. And it's actually helped me lose about 30 pounds, and I've talked to my doctor about it, making sure everything, doing everything in a healthy way. But that's just one way that I've been trying to get my body together, right? And trying to work out a little bit more. I hate working out until I'm actually in the workout, and then I love it.
Sure.
For me, the hardest part is putting on a sports bra. Once the sports bra is on, I can do anything. But having to put that thing on is like one of the worst moments of my day. For me, working out makes me feel mentally sharp, I have so many creative ideas that come to me when I'm in the middle of a workout, or there's an issue or a challenge I need to solve. I feel like I have this clarity when I'm working out. So it really is something that's good for your mind too.
Oh, absolutely. And I think especially one thing that's really important is coming to movement for more of your mind, body, and spirit, which is what we're all about here at Geriatric Momma, and not so much about a goal-oriented thing. And like we said before, everyone has a different journey, and do what makes you feel good about you.
Absolutely. It's amazing. When I am having anxiety, or when I was going through those various bouts of depression over the years, when I would get in the gym or just go for a walk, the physical activity would really just change my mindset. And it's really powerful. Like I would encourage, if you're thinking about working out, just start with walking. If you can go out and just go for a nice walk, it just really clears your head. And it's really a great workout. And from what I understand, walking is one of the best things a pregnant woman can do, just to build up strength and to make sure that their muscles are good to go for when they got to push that thing on out.
Ooh. You mean it's not just going to like slide out? Like I can't just like think about it. It just goes like, whoop.
Well, that's how mine is going to go down. But that's right. My journey. The next stop for me, I think, is the spirit, your inner being. Just for me, when I think about spirituality, it's kind of a whirlwind. It's something that's very personal, I think, to everyone. But for me, I can tell where I am with my spirituality depending on how much peace I have. I'm not too anxious. I'm just kind of vibing, going with the flow, and just accepting things as they are, right? I think that for me, my mind is like, no, it has to work this way. But my spirit is like, just chill. Just, but that's just it. It's keeping your energy positive, right? And we can do that with positive affirmations. I think for me, sometimes I have to take myself off of social media just to make sure that, I'm kind of cleansing myself from that every once in a while. And a big one for me is making sure I surround myself with positive people. That is essential to my spirituality.
You bring up such a good point. And I think that especially on this road to potentially getting pregnant and basically taking on the role as caretaker, it is so important for everybody to know that taking care of yourself first, self-care is in no way selfish. And it's something that should be prioritized. You have to have a full cup in order to share with others. And it's just
absolutely.
It's so important.
What is it that one of our favorites says, RuPaul? How does she in the show?
If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
It's one of the realest things I've ever heard in my life. It's
RuPaul
so true.
has real gems.
Well, we're talking about keeping positive people in our lives. And I'm so excited about the interview that we have coming up because it's with one of my best friends in the entire world, Laura Supernaut. She has been just such a positive light in my life. And I know that her interview where she touches on what it's like to be a geriatric mama who is in the process of trying to conceive and also has a physical disability. And you'll see in the interview, she just has such a great and positive light about her. Despite all the things that I think society and even the medical field is telling her that, well, you're not capable of doing these things. Are you sure you want to be doing this?
It's such a great interview. And I think that it's a really beautiful insight into truly a field and a sector within pregnancy that is, as you were saying in the interview and people will see, is not talked about and not researched enough. So I'm so glad we were able to have Laura. She was fantastic. And I think everybody's absolutely going to love the interview.
Yes, 100%. So let's share a little bit of Laura's positive energy with anyone, with everyone, with anyone and everyone, everybody. She's such a great person. She's got a great story to tell. So I hope you all enjoy it. Hey, everyone. I am so excited to be here today with one of my bestest friends in the entire world, Laura Supernaut. Hi. Laura, thank you for being here with me and Claire today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So me and Laura met in college. And the funny thing is we were walking home together back to our dorm room from this raging theater party that was off campus. Yes. And we just found ourselves on the same path, just walking together. And it was like, just walk with me and Justin so you're safe. And then we fell in love, but then we didn't see each other for a year on campus after that. And then magically we just reunited and we've been together.
I know. It's like fate put us together so early and then it pushed us together again. Our friendship's destined. So.
And we live together in some crazy college apartments. And it's just we've gone to each other's weddings. We've been each other's bridesmaids. It's a match made in heaven, truly.
It's a deep friendship for sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. So today we're talking about geriatric mamas who have all these different, of course we have different reasons for delaying our pregnancies, right? That's why we're hitting 35 and beyond. And we're oh, maybe I'll start thinking about a baby now. But I just wanted you to give us a little background because today we're talking about geriatric mamas who have physical disabilities. We'll touch on mental and emotional disabilities. But Laura really is sort of an expert in dealing with a physical disability while entering the phases of, trying to become a mother. So did you mind giving us a little background on what I was telling her earlier, I never considered her disabled. So when she told me that, I was like, what are you talking about? But will you give us a little background on that?
Sure. So I told Ashley, I didn't even really consider myself disabled until, the last few years. So I was born with a genetic condition called Larson syndrome, and it's very rare. It affects 1 in 100,000 births, and it affects the FLNB gene. So it's a mutation on that chromosome, and it results in really bendy connective tissue, essentially. And so it can present kind of on a spectrum of severity, I suppose. And I am on the not as severe side. So I'm really fortunate in that way. But if you have a genetic disorder, there's a 50% chance that you will pass on your disorder to your children. And so I knew that being a mom and that was going to be something I'd have to deal with. So in 2018, my husband and I got married and I was like, okay, I'll probably want kids sometime. So I should.
Probably.
I should
at some point.
Because I know there's going to be a few things. Yeah. So
you're here. You're in the You're on the train like me, trying to make it happen, right?
Yes.
So do you feel like because I know I remember when we were in school, me and you doing research together, trying to figure out, it's been a long journey for you to get to the point where you understand, what the syndrome is and how it affects you. Do you feel like now that you're in this phase of wanting to become a mother, have doctors been supportive in that? Are they like, I don't know if you should do that? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, good question. So my relationships with doctors are complicated. Some are nice, some aren't that great. A lot of them kind of treat me like it's so incredible that I found a husband and that I want to have a family in the first place. That it's kind of, they kind of put me in this like in awe category, or like not even in awe, more maybe pity. It's kind of, it's hard to tell what it is. So
it's like you're a doctor. Have some bedside manner at least, right?
Bedside manner.
Terrible.
It's awful. You guys, we could do a whole episode on that, but I will spare you.
But I'm sure that is the case for many women who have a disability who want to have children, that they get this sense of pity or like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, are you just being selfish? Like, things like that. And it's so unfair. And the fact that medical professionals would even make you feel that way is absolutely disgusting, honestly.
I did some research because I was just like having trouble being gaslit by doctors left and right, just for like my own physical problems I was having. And I was like, is this how it's going to be when I'm pregnant too? Like, are these doctors going to have any awareness of my condition or my symptoms or how I feel? Like, will they actually like see me? So I did some research, and there are some studies out there, and they pretty much like won't. There was a study I found where they interviewed or talked to disabled women who had been pregnant, and they asked them questions like, do you feel like your doctor was well versed on your condition? Most of them said no. Do you feel like harm was caused to you because your doctor was like poorly versed in your condition? And some of them said yes, not like all of them. But I read that study and I was just like, okay, like I just have to be prepared for more.
I was trying to do a little research on just, the experience of women with disabilities in pregnancy. And there was really nothing out there. I had to search so long to find even the smallest bit of information. And one thing I found was from the National Association of County Health Officials, which is made up of like 3,000 local health departments throughout the country. Like that's how I couldn't find like anything. I had to like get down to the county health departments and, throughout the country.
You did
but what it
dive.
said as of 2020. Oh yeah, I had to do a deep dive, which is completely ridiculous. But what I found out is that pregnancy rates among women with disabilities have grown in recent years, and the rates in disabled women are similar to those of women without disabilities. So there's so many women who have a disability that are having, that are getting pregnant and having healthy births, but there's no one talking about it. There's no information. And based on your experience, and I'm sure the experience of a lot of women, doctors just are not prepared for this type of situation, even though it's fairly common, it seems.
Yeah. And, I feel like it's like sad to say, but I feel like I have to bring up the point that, and I don't know the exact statistic, but women with disabilities are, I don't want to give a number, are basically more likely to be sexually assaulted than any like other group of women. So
wow.
I sadly, like when we look at the numbers of people who are getting pregnant, we don't even know if they were, planned or wanted pregnancies. There's like, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
But I think it's good that you bring it up because there could be women listening to us today who are totally in that boat. And it's just nice to know that they're being acknowledged and that there are people talking about it and that care. And
absolutely.
I mean, the whole topic, with all the episodes, I've been able to hop on Google or go into a database and find so much information. And I haven't been able to find virtually anything about disabled women who get pregnant and have healthy, normal pregnancies and birth.
I think
so.
Disability is kind of a harder category or a harder thing to categorize because there's just, once you take in like, mental health disabilities, like I have a physical disability. I was born with it. It's kind of like clear cut. Even that though is hard to get people to recognize as a disability. And so I think it's hard to define a disability. And that's part of the reason that there's not as much like research or numbers on it. And I could go down many rabbit holes with this.
I know.
So
we've been down those roads together a couple times.
Stay on topic.
We like throw our laptops. Like we can't find anything.
But then
you
really isn't.
You were so unbelievably. I mean, I hate it sometimes when people are like, "Oh, you're so strong," because you're like, you know what? I'm just trying to make it day to day. But I'm glad you see that as me being strong. But over the years, I've seen you like go from having basically no information about Larsen syndrome to like it's taking you, I don't know, like 15 years maybe to get some real information on it, and you finally have, and you took control of it. You made sure you found the right doctors, and I think that that's really encouraging for other women to say, I have to take this into my own hands because I can't depend on the medical field to do. And that's not to say you shouldn't listen to your doctors, obviously. You should have conversations with them. But it seems like you are someone who goes in with all the information you can gather on your own before you approach a doctor. And that since you've been doing that, it's made the process a little bit smoother for you.
It definitely has. And what's crazy is like, I didn't know many people with Larsen syndrome because there wasn't a way really for us to connect. And I mean, disability is the most isolating experience you'll probably ever have, it feels like. So I think there's a lot of isolation in disability, first of all. And then like, the internet's still new. But for like, people like me, unfortunately, I'm still on Facebook because there's a Larsen syndrome Facebook group that I'm a part of where I've gotten a lot of information.
It's a community.
Yeah. And that's how I found the doctor who did my hip surgery like 4 months ago. Yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
Because
I'm proud of you because I know that this has been a journey for you. Would you say that your disability, I hate saying that, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. Would you say that that is the reason why you waited or delayed your pregnancy, or was it just a bunch of other things too?
It's a lot of it. I think initially I was delaying pregnancy because I was like, I want to have as much fun as I can. We all saw our mothers be stressed out and like...
This is why we're besties.
Yeah. Like I'm going to live my life to the fullest and then I'll have kids. Give myself over to them. But then I would say I wasn't until I was like I got married where I was like, oh, I think I would want to start a family. Like, I think now's the time. Like, I saw my cousins with their babies. It's like, that looks fun. But then coincidentally, at the same time that I was like, I think I could have a kid soon, my hip started falling apart. So this whole journey so I had to go through IVF, genetic testing. Now my embryos
jump through way more hurdles than someone else because of, all the things your body is experiencing.
Yeah. And so there was that, like having to plan that process. And then meanwhile, I have this debilitating hip pain and I can't find information about Larsen syndrome. I had to see 5 different doctors before I could find a surgeon who had done the surgery I required on another patient with Larsen syndrome. So, and he's only done it on one other person. So that was a lot. And I was really hestant. I didn't want to have surgery on my hip because I've had many surgeries, but I had one, when I was 25, and that was...
She had a surgery right before my wedding, I think. And she was such a trooper. She was in this leg boot, and she's still walking down the aisle and dancing all night. It was
That's
amazing.
A true friend right there. That is a true friend.
It really was. Well, Ashley was a true friend for including me in all of this because, again, like disability is so isolating that, I don't know, it was great to have your wedding as something to do, you know?
Well, I don't know. I think that you, and I hope that this isn't annoying, I think you are one of the strongest women that I've ever met in my entire life. And I'm so excited that we're on this track together. And hopefully we get pregnant together and then our babies become best friends. And then maybe they'll go to college together and go to wild parties. And maybe they'll get married and then they'll have babies and I could just go on and on.
Ashley has it all planned out. This is perfect.
I love that.
I have it all planned.
I honestly didn't think about our kids getting married, but now that is definitely on my to-do list.
I put it out in the universe now. Okay, let's talk about some really petty things that we worry about when it comes to pregnancy. Okay, my first thing, and you tell me how you feel about it. The boobs getting bigger.
Oh, yeah.
We are from the big boob club.
Another
so
reason
for them
we're
to
good
get
friends.
any bigger, for them to get any bigger, I'm terrified.
Really?
Like, I don't want to just topple over.
Are your boobs still causing you back pain, or are they?
You know, I think my back pain. This is how well we know each other. Are your boobs still hurting your back? I think my back pain was probably just because I wasn't working out enough.
Yeah,
whenever I work out, it goes away.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that
posture.
it's not hurting you too much.
But you know, when you get pregnant, they start filling up with milk, and then they're all like over the place. Yeah, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I am worried about me. I don't know, in any clothes. I already feel like I spill out of most of them, and it's get them any bigger, and it's like, God help you, just.
I know my mom talks about how when she was pregnant, it wasn't a fashionable time, and all the women just wore like muumuus. So she's like working downtown Chicago and in her little muumuus and her white sneakers, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad we've come so far.
I say we bring it back. Bring back the muumuu. Why not?
I was gonna say,
bring back the muumuu.
Yeah.
Bring
I'm into
back the
should.
muumuu. I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically just a glorified maxi dress. If you think about it, like if you really think about like the structure of a muumuu, it's basically a maxi dress that just like lets you breathe.
Yeah,
that's so true, Claire. Okay, when we get pregnant, we'll get matching muumuus.
Love that.
And then we'll take a really obnoxious photo.
Yes, I was going to say, and we got to do a photo shoot.
By the way, Laura is a brilliant photographer.
Oh, thank you. Already thought about your pregnancy photo shoot. So
you got it planned out?
Yeah.
You plan out the pregnancy photo shoot. I will plan out our children's destiny to be together and get married.
Easy.
Okay, so this is like, I don't know if it's TMI, but I'm really worried about how do you go to the bathroom after you give birth to a kid? And I don't feel like anyone talks about it.
I've heard there's like a squeeze bottle, right? Because you can't wipe yourself. You have to like
you just gotta
spray it off. It's kind of like a bidet, you know?
Sure.
Hey, you know what? I don't mind a bidet at all.
I don't either. We actually have one of those. Pretty handy.
It just makes me feel fancy.
Yeah, and clean. Like when you really think about it, it's like, why don't we have bidets everywhere? America's kind of
it is odd that we never picked up on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really terrified about that. I imagine that it's just like fire down there and there's nothing you can do about it.
I don't think so. But apparently you have all of these chemicals from like just having a child. So you're like, this is bliss. Like, I don't even care. I can't believe that.
There's some sort of hormone that's released after childbirth that supposedly makes you forget about it all.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Right?
Can they bottle
that?
At
least reassuring.
I was just going to say that. Can we get that ahead of time?
I'm going to need a little before, a little after, and then a little bit for those 18 years.
Just give it to me. Put it in an IV or something. Just get it to me immediately. What are your thoughts on cravings during pregnancy? Because I'm really afraid that my cravings are going to be all the things that I love that I shouldn't eat, like fried chicken and baked macaroni and cheese. And I just don't see that going well for me.
I feel like, don't you start to, I'm curious about the things that I'm going to like that I didn't like before.
Well, you are vegetarian, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So do you feel like that'll be something? Well, I guess you've maintained it for so long. I don't see why pregnancy would make you
have to change
crave
that.
a hamburger all of a sudden.
It might though. We never know. Wanting to eat meat. Yeah, it might. I think I have
if I pull up and you're eating like a bacon cheeseburger, I'm like, girl, what kind of crazy craving is this?
You are pregnant as hell if you're eating that.
Like you might be having triplets if I see that.
Yeah. Which, hey,
I hope my cravings are healthier things like fruits and like vegetables and yogurt, but with pregnancy, it seems like you just don't know what's going to happen. No. And because I have all these control issues, I'm just like, what the hell am I going to do?
Same. I don't know.
And as a woman with a disability, I'm sure you tell me you want to be as in control of your body as possible.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of like one of those things where we're not really in control at all. So that's got to cause some anxiety.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
So what are your thoughts on a baby moon, ladies? I think it's absolutely essential.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay. Anytime I can get a vacation for anything, I do it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Laura, do you have any advice for other disabled women out there who want to get pregnant or are thinking about it and maybe feel a little self-conscious about it? Like any advice for them?
Oh my God. There is so much. I think that you kind of have to know yourself and what you're willing to do. But I do think a lot of disabled women, at least the few that I've talked to about pregnancy, if their pregnancy wasn't a surprise, they kind of were planning for it already. And like, you know, we came out of the womb disabled, so some of us have been thinking about it for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I think like one girl I spoke with, she uses a motorized wheelchair and she doesn't think her body could tolerate pregnancy. So she's going to look into getting a surrogate. So I don't know, I guess my advice would just be like, do what's right for you, talk to somebody and go for it.
Truly, like, you know, we know our bodies better than anyone. So just trust that, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so excited to talk to you. I think that this is a topic that's really going to hit at the heart of a lot of people. And I'm so thankful that you were willing to share all of that.
Anybody wants to talk about being disabled and pregnant, talk to Ashley. She'll give you my info. And
I'll hook you up because Laura is truly one of the most inspirational people in the world, no matter if she knows it or doesn't know it. Well, again, thank you so much for being here with us today. I love you so much, and I'm so excited for this journey that we're taking. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, my God. Such a good interview.
Such a good interview.
How can you not fall in love with that girl?
I don't know. She's fantastic. I feel like I feel like I've known her as long as you have almost, and I just met her. Right?
She's such a positive light, and she brings so much good energy, which I know you can feel that through the interview, right? But a lot of the stuff that she was talking about, a lot of the issues that she was hitting on, it was very surprising considering that there's so many women with various disabilities who do in fact get pregnant and have healthy pregnancies. It's almost as if they're discouraged from doing it. And that's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's really, it's unsettling and upsetting. And especially within the fact that doctors are so ill-equipped, you know, it's like not everybody is going to be the perfect pregnancy subject, you know, no one's going to be textbook, you know? So I think it really behooves. And we hear that a lot with women of color also receiving very different treatment, you know, people who have very different body types, people who do have physical and mental disabilities. It's upsetting. Age. Yep. Yeah. Whole reason why we're here.
Yeah. You know, it's really heartbreaking. But again, that's why we started the Geriatric Momma, so that we could build a community. And as I think we get deeper and deeper into our interviews, we're discovering all these sort of other communities, you know, within. There's so many different experiences that women have when it comes to their pregnancy, and so many variations of what their mind, body, might be going through that makes it a very unique experience. So it's great to have a community where you can share and just talk about these things and be okay with being afraid, but knowing that you can get through it. It's absolutely possible.
And we'll keep spreading out that positivity and good baby vibes out to everybody who's
that good baby vibes.
Good
Is
baby
that the baby
vibes.
vibe?
I guess so. But it can be so stressful, and we're here to help.
And I think she gave really great advice. Just trust your body. No one knows your body as well as you do. No doctor could ever tell you everything about your body and have the same intuition and knowledge that you have. At the same time, we're not medical professions, so it is important to listen to your doctors. Very important to listen to your doctors. But as Laura described, and as we talked about, having knowledge when you go into those appointments, I think is really important.
Medical advocacy is very important. So whether you are your own medical advocate or you have someone, your partner can also be your medical advocate, or even, a dear friend, whoever.
A friend,
that's
a parent, whoever.
Yes. It's a really important part of it. And you can always get a second opinion. I think people forget that you can always get another opinion from a different doctor.
I remember there was something weird happened with my insurance, and I had a bill sent to me, and I saw how much I paid a doctor just to go in and have a consultation. And I was just like, oh my goodness, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a 25-minute appointment where I didn't even sit on the examination table. Like, we were just sitting there conversing. So we need to make sure when we go into those appointments that we ask every question we have and that we leave there feeling like we got the information that we wanted. You don't have to tiptoe around a doctor. Okay.
No.
Make sure you have all the knowledge you need.
Absolutely. I might just flip it just a little bit because you did mention baby moons, and I feel like we didn't get to talk about that enough. Because I know you are a planner. I want to hear, Ashley, what is your ideal baby moon?
My gosh. Well, most people who know me know that I love to get dressed up and go have cocktails and dance the night away, which I can't necessarily do on a baby moon.
You can make a mocktail.
I can get dressed up. I can dance. Yeah, I can dance the night away, but the cocktail part. So for me, the baby moon would have to entail a place where I can get the best food possible. Like, I would just let the food take the place of my cocktails. And this would be my moment to actually indulge and not care about the calorie count. Just, if the baby moon is 7 days, I'm just going to eat whatever I want as often as I want. So if it's like an all inclusive where there's like buffets and room service 24 hours, that would be amazing. And I would love for it to be a relaxing trip, not a touristy trip where you're always up on your feet trying to sightsee, I think that would be great. And I love those trips, but I need to lounge somewhere. The belly out, two-piece, swimsuit, and I'm just laying around soaking up a bunch of vitamin D and eating all the food. So that could be anywhere where there's a nice warm beach.
That sounds like literal perfection.
Right? But this has been so fun. Another fun episode of the Geriatric Momma.
Ashley, where can people get a hold of us? Let them know.
They can get a hold of us. First of all, they can channel us and we'll be there, right?
Yes. That's right. Channel.
But they can also go to Instagram. They could go to Instagram and find us at the Geriatric Momma. That's because we're a little sassy with it. _geriatric_momma, MOMMA. And from there, they can find our link to our YouTube channel in the bio. That's where they can find us, girl.
Yeah.
Yes, reach out. And the other thing, if you have questions about anything, a topic you would like us to explore, go ahead and message us. This is a community. So we want to talk about the things you want to talk about. We want to share information and get interviews with people who have maybe experienced what you are going through, or, can tap into some of your fears and help you alleviate them. Because that's really the whole point of this podcast, is to help us get rid of those fears and be a little bit more rational. I know I'm completely irrational about everything I think about pregnancy.
Yeah, I mean,
everything.
Same.
Yeah. So yeah, hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about. Send us a message. But until then, as always, Claire and I want you to take care of yourselves, mind, body, and spirit. And we will see you next time on the Geriatric Momma podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.